The stars looked different from the observation deck of Station Alpha 7. Captain Dongwoo Kim pressed his palm against the cold metal wall and watched the distant lights flicker in the darkness. Somewhere out there, beyond the edge of human space, the Galactic Council was making decisions that would change everything. His communication device buzzed. Another message from Earth Command, probably asking for status reports he couldn't give. The Seraphim's Edge was still classified beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. Even Kim's own crew didn't know what their ship could really do. "Sir?" Lieutenant Bo-Ra Han stepped beside him, her young face serious. "Admiral Choi wants to speak with you. Priority channel." Kim nodded and followed her to the secure communication room. The heavy doors sealed behind them with a soft hiss. Admiral Sunja Choi's weathered face appeared on the screen, her expression grim. "Captain, we have a problem," Choi said without greeting. "The Council issued their final demand 3 hours ago. They want our outer colonies under their protection within 30 days. "Protection?" Kim laughed, but there was no humor in it. "You mean control?" "That's exactly what I mean." Choi leaned forward. "Ambassador Lee tried everything. She offered trade deals, technology exchanges, even mining rights. The Council won't listen. They think we're weak." Kim thought about the ship floating in the hidden dock beneath them. The ship that could tear reality apart and put it back together. The ship that made human vessels into something the galaxy had never imagined. Maybe it's time to show them they're wrong. "Not yet," Choi said firmly. "We stick to the plan. Let them think we're just another species trying to survive. Dr. Park's work isn't ready for the galaxy to see." Dr. Haewon Park. Kim had met her only twice, but both times had left him amazed and slightly afraid. The woman understood things about the universe that most humans couldn't even pronounce. Her quantum research had given birth to technologies that shouldn't exist. "How is she handling the pressure?" Kim asked. Choi's face darkened. "She's not sleeping, hasn't eaten a real meal in days. She knows what's coming, Captain. She knows the Council won't stop with the outer colonies." The communication ended, leaving Kim alone with his thoughts. He walked through the station's corridors, noting how quiet everything had become. The usual chatter and laughter of the crew was gone, replaced by worried whispers and nervous glances. In the mess hall, he found Commander Tae-hyun Lim staring at a cup of coffee that had long since gone cold. Lim was the best engineer Kim had ever known, capable of making impossible repairs in impossible conditions. If anyone could keep the Seraphim's Edge running during combat, it was him. "Thoughts?" Kim sat down across from his chief engineer. "The Council ships are already moving," Lim said quietly. "Our long-range sensors picked them up this morning. 3 fleets, heading for the Outer Rim. How long? 2 weeks, maybe less if they push their drives hard." Kim felt something cold settle in his stomach. 2 weeks wasn't enough time. The Seraphim's Edge was ready, but the crew wasn't. They'd run simulations, but actual combat was different. Especially combat like this would be. "The families on New Sol Colony sent another message," Lim continued. "They're asking if they should evacuate." "What did you tell them?" "I told them to wait for orders from Earth Command." Lim finally looked up. "But between you and me, Captain, I think they should run. The Council doesn't take prisoners when they're making examples." Kim's communication device buzzed again. This time it wasn't Earth Command. The message was from Ambassador Eugene Lee, broadcasting from the Council chambers on the neutral world of Kepler 442b. Her face appeared on the small screen, professional but strained. Behind her, Kim could see the massive chamber where representatives from dozens of species gathered to decide the fate of the galaxy. "Citizens of Earth," Lee began, her voice steady despite everything. "The Galactic Council has made their position clear. They believe humanity needs guidance from older, wiser species. They claim our rapid expansion and technological development poses a threat to galactic peace." The image shifted to show the Council chamber itself. Massive beings from a dozen worlds sat in judgment. The Velthari delegates looked like walking nightmares, all claws and sharp teeth. The Keth representatives were more subtle, but their cold eyes held no warmth for humanity. "I have spent weeks trying to find a peaceful solution," Lee continued. "I have offered compromise after compromise, but the Council's mind is made. They see our silence as weakness. They mistake our desire for peace as inability to fight." The transmission cut to static. then returned, showing Lee alone in what looked like a small room. "This is my personal message to Earth Command," she said, her diplomatic mask finally slipping. "They're not going to stop. This isn't about protection or guidance. This is about fear. They're afraid of what we might become." Kim looked around the mess hall. Other crew members had gathered to watch the transmission. Their faces showed the same mix of anger and determination he felt building in his chest. "Sir?" Bo-Ra-Han appeared at his elbow. "Dr. Song wants to see you. He says it's urgent." Dr. Jin Woo Song had been a council liaison for 5 years before returning to Earth. He knew how the alien races thought, how they planned, how they made war. If Song said something was urgent, it usually meant people were about to die. Kim found the doctor in the station's intelligence center, surrounded by screens showing ship movements throughout the galaxy. Song looked up as Kim entered, his face pale. "They're not waiting for the deadline," Song said without preamble. "3 of our research stations went silent in the last 6 hours. No distress calls, no emergency beacons, nothing. Equipment failure, all 3? At the same time?" Song shook his head. "The Council's black operations teams are good, Captain. Very good. They wanted to send a message before the real attack begins." Kim felt the last of his patience disappear. The Council could threaten colonies, could demand submission, could even attack military targets. But research stations were filled with civilians, scientists, engineers, support staff, families. "How many?" he asked quietly. "Station Beta 9 had 400 people. Gamma 12 had 600. Delta 3. Song's voice caught. "Delta 3 had Dr. Park's sister and her children." The cold in Kim's stomach turned to ice. Dr. Park had family on Delta 3, a sister who taught xenobiology to graduate students, 2 nephews who wanted to be starship pilots when they grew up. Does she know? Admiral Choi is telling her now. Kim closed his eyes and made a decision that would change the galaxy forever. The Council wanted to see what humanity was capable of when pushed. They were about to find out. "Send a message to all section leaders," he told Han. "Emergency briefing in 1 hour. Full security protocols." "What should I tell them, sir?" Kim looked back at the screens showing empty space where 3 research stations used to be. Somewhere in that darkness, Dr. Park was learning that her family was dead. "Somewhere else, Admiral." Choi was preparing to give orders that would end humanity's age of silence. "Tell them it's time to stop pretending we're weak." Dr. Haewon Park stood in the empty laboratory, staring at the family photo on her desk. Her sister Minna had been smiling in that picture, holding her 2 sons close. Now they were gone, killed by aliens who thought humanity was too dangerous to exist freely. "Doctor?" A gentle voice spoke behind her. Commander Tae-hyun Lim entered the lab, his face full of sympathy. "I'm sorry about your family." Park picked up the photo and held it against her chest. "They were studying ocean life on Delta 3. My sister wanted to help terraform new worlds. She never hurt anyone. The Council doesn't care about that," Lim said softly. "They only care about power." Park set the photo down and turned to face the massive display screen covering one wall of the lab. Technical drawings filled the surface, showing a ship that looked impossible. The Seraphim's Edge was 2 kilometers of human engineering that broke every rule of physics the galaxy thought it knew. 20 years, Park said, touching the screen. 20 years of work, and they still don't understand what we've built. Lim studied the drawings with professional interest. As the ship's chief engineer, he knew every system, every wire, every quantum processor. But even he didn't fully understand how it all worked together. "Tell me again how you discovered it," he said. "The quantum consciousness theory." Park smiled for the first time in days. "By accident, like most great discoveries. I was studying how human brains process information differently from alien minds. We think faster, make connections other species miss. I thought it was just evolution." She moved to another screen showing brain scans and neural maps. "Then I realized our thoughts operate on quantum levels. Every human brain is naturally entangled with quantum fields. We don't just think about reality, Lim. We actually touch it. And that's how we can control the ship's systems? Control is the wrong word. We merge with them. When Lieutenant Han operates the weapons systems, her consciousness becomes part of the quantum computers. She doesn't just aim the guns, she becomes the targeting system itself." Lim shook his head in wonder. "The Council species can't do that?" They can't even understand it. Their minds work in straight lines, logical patterns. But humans, we think in probability clouds, in quantum superposition. We consider multiple possibilities at the same time. Park walked to the center of the lab where a smaller version of the ship's quantum drive hummed quietly. The device looked simple, just a metal sphere surrounded by glowing crystals. But inside that sphere, reality bent and twisted in ways that made alien scientists cry. "This is why they fear us," she continued. "Not because we're stronger or smarter, but because we think in ways they cannot predict or understand. To them, our technology looks like magic." The lab door opened, and Captain Dongwoo Kim entered, followed by Lieutenant Bo-Ra Han. The young weapons officer looked nervous, her hands shaking slightly. "Doctor," Kim said formally, "Admiral Choi has authorized Protocol Omega. We need to begin final preparations." Park nodded, expecting this moment for months. Protocol Omega meant the end of humanity's peaceful facade. It meant showing the galaxy what humans could really do when pushed too far. "Han," Park said, turning to the young officer, "are you ready for neural integration?" Han swallowed hard. "What will it feel like?" "Like becoming more than human," Park answered honestly. "Your mind will expand beyond normal limits. You'll see the universe as pure mathematics, understand the quantum foam that holds reality together. But you'll still be you, just enhanced." Kim watched his weapons officer carefully. Han was young, barely 25, but she had the highest quantum aptitude scores in human space. If anyone could handle full neural integration with the ship's systems, it was her. "I'm ready," Han said, her voice stronger now. "For my family, on New Sol Colony, for everyone the Council threatens." Park began preparing the integration chamber, a medical bed surrounded by quantum field generators. The process takes 6 hours. During that time, your brain will form permanent connections with the ship's neural network. You'll be able to control weapons systems with pure thought. "Any side effects?" Lim asked, concerned for his crewmate. "Enhanced perception, faster reflexes, the ability to process multiple data streams simultaneously. Oh, and you might start thinking in 11 dimensions, instead of 3, Han laughed nervously. "That doesn't sound so bad." As Park worked, she explained more about their secret project. "The Council thinks we've been focused on peaceful expansion for 30 years. They have no idea we've been preparing for this day, since first contact." Kim nodded. "Earth Command knew this would happen eventually. Older species always try to control younger ones. It's the law of the galaxy." "So we built something they couldn't control," Park continued. "Ships that exist in multiple dimensions, weapons that manipulate time itself, shields that make attacks statistically impossible. The Seraphim's Edge isn't just a warship, Captain. It's humanity's declaration that we won't be ruled." The integration chamber powered up with a soft humming sound. Quantum fields shimmered around the medical bed like heat waves in summer. "One more thing," Park said seriously. "Once Han undergoes integration, there's no going back. Her mind will be permanently enhanced, but she'll also be partially merged with the ship. She'll feel what it feels, know what it knows." "Will I still be human?" Han asked quietly. "You'll be what humanity is becoming," Park answered. "The next step in our evolution." Han climbed onto the bed and lay still as Park attached the neural connectors. Thin cables ran from her skull to the quantum processors, creating a direct link between human consciousness and impossible technology. "Beginning integration now," Park announced. The room filled with soft blue light as quantum fields activated. Han's body went rigid, then relaxed as her mind expanded beyond normal human limits. On the monitors, her brain patterns shifted into configurations that shouldn't exist. "How does it feel?" Kim asked. Han opened her eyes, but they glowed with the same blue light as the quantum processors. When she spoke, her voice carried harmonic frequencies that resonated through the metal walls. "I can see everything," she whispered. "The whole ship, every system, every quantum pathway. And Captain, I can see what we're really capable of." She sat up slowly, moving with fluid grace that seemed almost inhuman. "The Council has no idea what's coming. Their ships, their weapons, their tactics, it's all so limited, so three-dimensional." Park smiled with satisfaction. Welcome to humanity's future, Lieutenant. Kim felt a chill run down his spine. In 6 hours, Han had become something beyond normal human experience. Soon, his entire crew would undergo similar enhancements. They were creating super soldiers without meaning to, pushing human evolution forward by centuries. "Doctor," he said carefully, "what have we become?" Park looked at the readings from Han's integration, data that showed a human mind operating on quantum levels. "We've become what the Council forced us to become. They wanted to see humanity's true potential. Now they will." Colonel Mi-Young Kang pressed her face against the bunker wall and watched the sky burn. Alien ships fell like deadly rain, their weapons turning New Sol Colony's beautiful gardens into smoking craters. She had been defending human settlements for 15 years, but had never seen an attack this massive. "Colonel!" Sergeant Woojin Park crawled through the rubble toward her position. "The Eastern District is gone. 3,000 civilians evacuated, but we lost contact with the transport ships." Kang closed her eyes and tried not to think about families fleeing through burning streets. The Galactic Council had promised a quick, clean operation to restore order. Instead, they were butchering anyone who couldn't escape fast enough. "What's our status?" she asked, checking her rifle's power cells. 200 Marines left, maybe less. The aliens have us surrounded on 3 sides. Captain Zhang's fighter squadron is still airborne, but they're running out of fuel. Through her communication device, Kang could hear the desperate voices of human defenders across 12 colonies. The same story everywhere: overwhelming alien forces, civilian casualties, and human military units fighting hopeless battles against impossible odds. On the neutral world of Kepler 442b, Councillor Velkara of the Velthari Empire watched the attack through orbital sensors. His species looked like nightmares made real, all sharp teeth and armored scales. But his mind was coldly logical. "The humans are fighting harder than expected," his aide reported. "Their defensive positions are well prepared." Velkara laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "Of course they fight hard. Primitive species always struggle against superior force. But struggle means nothing without power to back it up." The display screens around him showed human colonies under siege. Thousands of alien ships darkened the skies, their weapons systematically destroying military installations and government buildings. The message was clear: submit or die. "How long until complete victory?" Velkara asked. 6 hours, perhaps 8. "The humans have no ships capable of threatening our fleets. Their technology is decades behind ours." Velkara nodded with satisfaction. Humanity would serve as an example to other young species who thought they could resist the Council's wisdom. After today, no one would question the natural order of the galaxy. In space above New Sol Colony, Captain Haiyan Sujang rolled his fighter through a deadly dance with alien interceptors. His squadron had started the battle with 36 ships. Now only 8 remained, their pilots exhausted and running on pure determination. "Dragon Leader, this is Dragon 5, came a tired voice over the radio. "I'm hit bad. Engines failing." Zhang watched one of his pilots spiral toward the planet's surface, flames trailing from his damaged ship. Another good pilot lost to alien weapons that shouldn't exist. "All dragons, pull back to defensive grid 7, he ordered. "Save your ammunition for the next wave." But even as he spoke, Zhang knew there might not be a next wave for them. The aliens had hundreds of ships for every human fighter. They could afford to lose dozens, while humanity couldn't afford to lose one. On the planet below, Colonel Kang received a message that made her blood run cold. The civilian evacuation ships had been destroyed by alien interceptors. 3,000 innocent people killed while trying to escape a battle they never wanted. "Colonel," Sergeant Park said quietly, "the aliens are broadcasting on all frequencies. They want to speak with our commanders." Kang activated her communication system and listened to the alien transmission. A voice like grinding metal spoke. "In perfect human language, human defenders, you have fought bravely but uselessly. Surrender now and your deaths will be quick. Continue fighting and we will hunt down every survivor, every child, every family member. The choice is yours." Kang turned off the transmission and looked at her remaining Marines. Young faces, scared but determined. They knew they were going to die, but they would make the aliens pay for every meter of ground. "Sergeant, send a message to Earth Command. Tell them New Sol Colony fought to the end." But before Park could respond, something changed. Every human communication device in the battle zone crackled to life with the same message. The voice belonged to Admiral Sunja Choi, broadcasting from Earth Command. All human forces, this is Admiral Choi. New orders effective immediately. Withdraw to minimum safe distance from enemy fleets. Repeat, all human forces withdraw now. Kang frowned. Withdraw? They were already surrounded. There was nowhere to go. Admiral, she broadcast back, New Seoul is under siege. We cannot withdraw. Colonel. Kang! Choi's voice came back personally. Trust me. Get your people underground and stay there. What happens next is going to change everything. On Kepler 442b, Counselor Velkara watched the human forces begin a strange retreat. Instead of surrendering or fighting to the death, they were pulling back from the main battle zones. What are they doing? He asked his aide. Unknown, sir. It appears to be some kind of tactical withdrawal, but they have no ships to evacuate with. Velkara studied the tactical displays with growing confusion. Human behavior was already difficult to predict, but this made no sense at all. Were they planning some desperate final assault? In the hidden base beneath Station Alpha 7, Captain Dongwoo Kim stood on the bridge of the Seraphim's Edge and watched the massacre through orbital feeds. 12 colonies under attack, thousands of humans dead, and the aliens thought they had already won. Neural integration, complete on all systems, reported Lieutenant Bo-Ra Han, her voice carrying those strange harmonic frequencies. The ship is ready for combat operations. Kim looked around his bridge. Every officer now showed the subtle signs of quantum enhancement. Slightly glowing eyes, faster reflexes, the ability to process multiple data streams simultaneously. They were still human, but human plus something the galaxy had never seen before. Dr. Park, are you sure about this? He asked. Dr. Haewon Park nodded from her science station. The quantum calculations are perfect. We can phase shift directly into the middle of their largest fleet without being detected until we choose to reveal ourselves. Commander Taehyun Lim ran his hands over the engineering controls, feeling the ship's quantum drives humming with impossible power. All systems are stable, Captain. The Seraphim's Edge is ready to show the galaxy what human engineering can really do. Kim took a deep breath and opened a channel to Admiral Choi. Earth Command, this is Seraphim's Edge, requesting permission to engage. Choi's face appeared on the main screen, her expression grim but determined. Permission granted, Captain. Show them what happens when they push humanity too far. Kim turned to his enhanced crew, knowing that what happened in the next few minutes would change the balance of galactic power forever. All stations, battle ready. Lieutenant Han, prepare to drop us out of quantum phase directly in the center of their formation. Aye, sir. Quantum phase drive ready. Commander Lim, I need everything the engines can give us. You'll have it, Captain. Kim looked one last time at the orbital feeds showing alien ships destroying human colonies. Thousands of his people were dead or dying while the Council celebrated their easy victory. Initiate phase drop. It's time to introduce the galaxy to human anger. The Seraphim's Edge appeared in space like a ghost becoming solid. One moment, the area was empty. The next moment, 2 kilometers of impossible human engineering materialized in the center of the Velthari fleet. Alien sensors screamed warnings, but their targeting computers couldn't lock onto something that existed in 17 different dimensions at once. Captain Dongwoo Kim stood on his bridge and watched 3,000 alien warships surround his single vessel. The enemy fleet stretched in all directions, their weapons already charging for what they thought would be an easy kill. They're trying to communicate, reported Communications Officer Sujin Choi. Multiple alien languages all saying the same thing. They want us to surrender. Kim smiled without humor. Put me on all frequencies. Let's talk. His image appeared on every alien ship in the fleet, broadcast across their communication systems whether they wanted it or not. The quantum neural network made such things simple. This is Captain Kim of the human vessel Seraphim's Edge, he said calmly. You have attacked our colonies. You have killed our civilians. You have made the mistake of believing humanity is weak. On the bridge of the Velthari flagship, Counselor Velkara stared at the human captain's image with confusion and growing anger. One ship, he snarled to his aide. They send one ship against our entire fleet. Human arrogance knows no limits. Sir, the weapons officer reported. "Our targeting systems cannot get a lock. The human ship appears to be phasing in and out of normal space." Velkara's clawed hand struck the armrest of his command chair. "Then fire everything at where it was last detected. Saturate the entire area with plasma fire." Kim watched the alien fleet prepare to attack and felt a cold satisfaction. They still didn't understand what they were facing. "Lieutenant Han," he said quietly, "show them what human weapons can do." Bo-Rahan's enhanced consciousness merged completely with the ship's targeting systems. Her awareness expanded beyond the bridge, beyond the ship itself, until she could feel every alien vessel in the surrounding fleet, their crews, their weapons, their weaknesses. "Entropy cannons ready," she reported, her voice carrying harmonics that made the bridge's metal walls vibrate. "Quantum targeting locks acquired on primary targets." Fire. The Seraphim's edge didn't fire conventional energy weapons. Instead, it reached across dimensions and touched reality itself. The entropy cannons didn't destroy matter. They accelerated time around their targets, aging entire starships centuries in seconds. The first alien dreadnought simply crumbled. Its armor plating became dust. Its weapons rusted to nothing. Its hull aged until structural failure tore it apart. The crew inside died of old age before they could scream. "Impossible," Velkara whispered as he watched his flagship's sister ship disintegrate. "No weapon can do that." But the Seraphim's edge was just getting started. Lieutenant Han's consciousness danced through quantum probability fields, calculating attack patterns that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. She was no longer entirely human, but something greater. "Phase 2, Kim ordered. The ship began existing in multiple locations at once. Alien sensors showed it directly ahead, behind, above, and below their formations, all at the same time. Weapons. Fire passed harmlessly through quantum echoes, while the real ship attacked from angles that shouldn't exist. Commander Tae-Hyun Lim monitored the impossible engineering from his station. Power flowed through quantum conduits. Engines ran uncontrolled. Probability cascades, and reality bent around their ship like water around a stone. "Hull stress nominal," he reported. "Quantum phase drives operating within acceptable parameters. We can maintain this for hours if needed." On the planet below, Colonel Mi-Young Kang watched the space battle through her tactical display and couldn't believe what she was seeing. Alien ships were dying by the dozens, their wreckage raining down through the atmosphere like metal snow. "Colonel," Sergeant Woo Jin Park said in amazement, "one of our ships is destroying their entire fleet." Not just any ship, Kang realized, understanding finally dawning. "That's what Earth Command has been building in secret. That's why they told us to withdraw." In space, the battle had become a one-sided slaughter. The Seraphim's edge moved through the alien fleet like a shark through minnows, its weapons striking from impossible angles with impossible effects. 3 Keth heavy cruisers found themselves, turned inside out through higher-dimensional mathematics. Their crews experienced a few seconds of confused terror before spatial geometry folded them out of existence. A squadron of Velthari interceptors aged backwards until they became the raw materials they had been built from, leaving only clouds of metal ore and carbon dust floating in vacuum. "Sir," Han reported, her consciousness now spread across multiple dimensions. "The enemy fleet is attempting to retreat. Should I allow it?" Kim considered the question while watching more alien ships die around them. Part of him wanted to let them run, to carry word of what they had seen back to the Council. But these same aliens had murdered children in evacuation ships. Negative, no survivors. They wanted to see what humanity could do when pushed. Let them see it all. Dr. Haewon Park monitored the quantum field interactions from her science station, watching her life's work prove itself in the deadliest test possible. The ship's neural network was functioning perfectly, allowing human consciousness to merge with technology in ways that broke every rule of physics. "Captain," she called out, "I'm detecting massive quantum resonance from the alien ships. Their crews are experiencing neural feedback from our quantum attacks." "What kind of feedback?" "Their minds can't process what they're seeing. To them, our attacks appear to be magic, pure, impossible magic. Several alien crews have gone insane just from trying to understand our weapons." Kim nodded grimly. This was what made humans dangerous. Not just their technology, but their ability to think in ways other species couldn't comprehend. The battle, if it could be called that, lasted exactly 17 minutes. When it ended, 3,700 alien warships had been destroyed or disabled. The Seraphim's Edge had not received so much as a scratch on its hull. Kim opened a channel to the surviving alien vessels, the few ships whose crews had maintained enough sanity to receive his message. "This is Captain Kim," he said, his voice carrying across space to reach every functioning alien communication system in the sector. "Return to the Galactic Council. Tell them what you have seen here today. Tell them that humanity is no longer interested in their protection or their guidance." He paused, looking at the debris field that had once been a mighty alien fleet. "Tell them that we tried diplomacy. We offered peace. We asked only to be left alone, but they chose war instead. They chose to murder our civilians and threaten our families." Kim's expression hardened into something that would have terrified the aliens if they could have seen it. "And tell them that what you witnessed today was us being gentle. If they continue this path, if they threaten even one more human life, they will discover what our anger truly looks like." The transmission ended, leaving the surviving alien ships alone with their terror and their impossible memories of weapons that shouldn't exist. 6 months after the battle at New Sol Colony, Premier Daiho Yoon sat in his office on Earth and watched alien ambassadors wait in his reception room like nervous children. The most powerful beings in the galaxy, creatures who had ruled star systems for thousands of years, now begged for meetings with humans they had once considered primitive. "The Velthari delegation has been waiting for 3 hours, his assistant informed him. "They're getting agitated." "Let them wait," Yoon said calmly. "They made our people wait 30 years for basic respect. 3 hours won't kill them." Through his window, Yoon could see the construction of humanity's new orbital defense platforms. Massive structures that used the same quantum technology as the Seraphim's Edge, capable of protecting entire star systems from any conceivable attack. The galaxy had changed completely since that 17-minute battle. News of humanity's impossible victory had spread like wildfire through every civilized world. Within days, the mighty Galactic Council had collapsed as member species fled in terror or begged for human protection. General Unji Bei entered the office carrying a datapad full of reports. Her face showed the strain of coordinating humanity's sudden expansion from a minor species to the galaxy's dominant power. "Status report," Yoon requested. "The Keth Consortium officially surrendered this morning," Bei said. "They're offering us exclusive mining rights to 12-star systems in exchange for a non-aggression treaty. And the smaller species? 43 different civilizations have requested human protection in the last week alone. The Zephyrians are particularly desperate. They're offering their entire fleet in exchange for a single human ship to guard their homeworld." Yoon nodded thoughtfully. This was the challenge nobody had expected. Humanity had built weapons to defend themselves, not to conquer the galaxy. But now every species was either terrified of them or begging for their help. "What about the Velthari? Empire?" Bei's expression darkened. "Counselor Velkara is in the reception room right now. He wants to negotiate what he calls a strategic partnership between equals." "Equals?" Yoon laughed. "After they tried to exterminate us?" On the other side of the galaxy, Dr. Young-Ho Nam studied brain scans in his research laboratory and tried to understand what humanity was becoming. The quantum consciousness experiments had succeeded beyond their wildest dreams, but the results raised disturbing questions. "The children are different," he told his assistant, Dr. Hai-Jin Kim. "The ones born after the battle at New Sol. Their brain patterns show natural quantum entanglement from birth." Dr. Kim examined the scans with growing amazement. "They're born already connected to quantum fields, without artificial enhancement?" "Exactly. It's as if humanity is evolving at an accelerated rate. Whatever Dr. Park discovered about our quantum consciousness, it's becoming stronger with each generation." Nam pulled up a video file showing a 5-year-old girl named So Young playing with toys. But instead of using her hands, the child was moving objects with pure thought, manipulating matter at the quantum level as easily as breathing. "This is the future of humanity," Nam said quietly. "Children who can bend reality with their minds, who understand the universe in ways that make our current technology look primitive." In the depths of space, Captain Dongwoo Kim patrolled the outer rim aboard the Seraphim's Edge. His ship had become legendary throughout the galaxy, a symbol of human power that could appear anywhere instantly. "Captain," Lieutenant Borahan reported from her weapons station, "we're receiving a distress call from the Altarian system. Pirates are attacking civilian transports." Kim studied the tactical display. The Altarians were a peaceful species, traders who had never hurt anyone. But they were also allies of the former Galactic Council, which complicated matters. How many pirate ships? 15 light cruisers, standard plasma weapons, nothing sophisticated. Kim made his decision quickly. The new Galactic Order couldn't allow pirates to prey on civilians, regardless of past political affiliations. Set course for Altarian space, maximum quantum phase. The Seraphim's Edge stepped sideways through reality and appeared in the Altarian system before the pirates could react. Kim opened communications to the attacking vessels. "This is the human ship, Seraphim's Edge. You have 60 seconds to withdraw from this system or face destruction." The pirate response came in the form of weapons fire directed at his ship. Plasma bolts passed harmlessly through quantum echoes while Lieutenant Han calculated targeting solutions. "Pirates eliminated," Han reported 30 seconds later. "No, survivors." The grateful Altarians sent messages of thanks, but Kim barely heard them. He was thinking about what Dr. Park had told him before she returned to Earth. Humanity wasn't just becoming more powerful, they were becoming something entirely new. Back on Earth, Premier Yoon finally agreed to meet with Counselor Velkara. The alien leader looked smaller somehow, his nightmare appearance diminished by the knowledge of what humans could do when threatened. "Premier," Velkara began carefully, "the Velthari Empire wishes to discuss terms for peaceful coexistence." "You mean surrender," Yoon corrected. "Let's not pretend this is a negotiation between equals." Velkara's clawed hands clenched, but he nodded slowly. "What are your terms?" Yoon activated a holographic display showing the new galactic map. Human space had expanded dramatically, encompassing not just their original colonies, but vast regions, previously controlled by Council forces. "First, the Velthari Empire will provide full reparations for the civilians killed during your attack. Second, you will transfer control of all military installations within 50 light-years of human space. Third, your species will contribute to our Galactic Defense Initiative. And in return, we won't destroy your civilization." The simple statement hung in the air like a death sentence. Velkara understood that humanity now possessed the power to eliminate his entire species if they chose to do so. "One question," the alien said quietly. "How long have you been capable of this? How long could you have destroyed us all?" Yoon considered the question carefully. "Since before we joined your council, we've been building these weapons for 40 years, preparing for the day you would try to conquer us." Velkara's alien features showed something that might have been respect. "You let us believe we were superior while secretly developing the power to eliminate us. We hoped it would never be necessary. We wanted peace, trade, cultural exchange, but you mistook our desire for peace as weakness." 3 days later, the former Galactic Council chambers on Kepler 442b hosted its final session. Representatives from across the galaxy gathered to witness the birth of humanity's new order. General Bay read the Charter of the Human Galactic Protectorate, a document that established humanity as the guardians of galactic peace. Any species that threatened civilians would face human justice. Any species that requested protection would receive it for a price. Admiral Soonja Choi, now promoted to Supreme Commander of Human Space Forces, outlined the new military reality. Humanity would maintain quantum-enhanced fleets throughout the galaxy, capable of responding to any threat within minutes. But it was Dr. Park's final presentation that truly changed everything. Standing before the assembled aliens, she revealed the full scope of human quantum consciousness research. "We are not conquerors," she said simply. "We are evolution itself. What you witnessed at New Sol was just the beginning. Humanity is becoming something the galaxy has never seen before, and we will use that power to protect those who cannot protect themselves." As the session ended, Captain Kim received new orders aboard the Seraphim's Edge. Reports of slave traders operating near the galactic rim, criminals who thought themselves beyond human reach. "Lieutenant Han, plot a course for the outer territories. It seems someone needs to learn what happens when you hurt innocent people in human space. The ship phase shifted through reality, carrying humanity's promise across the stars. The galaxy had a new order now, one built not on conquest or domination, but on the simple principle that those with power had a duty to protect those without it. And humanity, it seemed, had more power than anyone had ever imagined possible.